Is everyone okay?
That's perfect.
Okay. Put my throat first. All right. Thanks, of course, to Dr. Anderson this semester. She allowed me to analyze first the dialect of Jay-Z, but of course now, in regards to KRS 1, so within 10 minutes, I hope to give you 30 minutes of the teacher as I analyzed his idiolects. KRS 1, to hip-hop, he is known as the Teacha. He is a man of words because he chooses to expand his vocabulary. In 30 minutes, he is able to speak 3,521 words of diverse lexical content. While speaking, he acknowledges the importance of knowing Black history and one's culture. Even though KRS 1 did not graduate high school, he obtained a GED. However, his best teacher has been himself. Born Lawrence Parker on August 20th, 1965, he reigns from the South Bronx, which is located in New York. As a rap artist, KRS 1 realized that knowledge reigned supreme over nearly everyone. So his lexical range continued to develop while he learned to understand that phonology can have an impact on speech, as syntax of statements can be exemplified or can exemplify one's attitude. So as we get into his phonology, for the A vowel, he pronounces it such as teacher, preacher, the. Instead of actually enunciating A, it's For the words ending in ing, of course he drops the G. So of course in teaching, it's like teaching. For speech articulation, we learned this semester, of course, from Dr. Anderson. Sounds of distinctiveness. He makes sure to enunciate all of his words. Then when he speaks, it's kind of like a preacher of hip-hop. And I'll let you hear this. Hopefully the volume is up.
Same room, like a painter. All of this is knowledge. All of this is awareness. What are you aware of? The things you are aware of really is determined by your level of vocabulary. The less words you know, the less you can see in your environment. The more words you know, the more you can see. Oh, I know that's a...
So in regards to that, he was going to say, I know that's a halogen lamp in regards to vocabulary. For when reading his book, actually on page 121, it's about over 800 pages, he basically talks about Ebonics or Black English. He calls it advanced street knowledge. All right, so as far as syntax, as he forms words into phrases and sentences, his utterance have grammatical functions that emphasize grammar features.
Everything with our ancestors was oral tradition. This is what we had, oral tradition. And you know what's so real about the oral tradition? Was that you had to be a person of your word. Come on.
So then moving on, when you think about what he just spoke, in that utterance or in that phrase, he used indefinite subject pronouns or general subject pronouns such as everything or this. He stressed topics such as oral tradition. The to be verb, he actually made sure that was in present tense and past tense form, so is or was. For second person singular pronoun, he used you. And then for this possessive form of you, to attribute ownership, he used your. When viewing the syntax of his statements, one can realize that KRS 1 speaks for impact. Most of his sentences are direct and to the point as they include subjects conjugated with the appropriate verb forms. Additionally, he has a casual register that coincides with his lexical usage. So according to KRS 1, Black people should expand their vocabulary.
For you to see your reality, they say in the beginning was the Word. Actually, that's John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word. And this is so real because human beings cannot see reality without words. So I start here with knowledge. Knowledge is about awareness. What do you know? What can you see? Once you are aware, which right now you are aware of how you need to be aware, meaning you're aware that you need a broader vocabulary. You already have a broader.
Okay, so to support his claim, in 30 minutes, he spoke 200 words that are not of general content and function. So for example, which I was actually fascinated with, Pan-Africanism. So according to Britannica.com, it is the sentiment that people of African descent have a great deal in common, and a fact that deserves notice and even celebration. He also spoke about Sina, which is the first black African dynasty, now known as China. As far as white Europeans, he said they're called albinoid Africans. And then he actually, when I looked up the spelling, but that's how he pronounced it, Etruscans, he also had a hard time pronouncing that, the Yemenis are straight from Africa, or straight Africans.
7,000 words.
All right, so to hip-hop and its culture, KRS-One is acknowledged as the teacher because he drops knowledge with his words. He believes that knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. If not, the culture is headed for self-destruction. In turn, to hip-hop and its temple, KRS-One holds the gospel tuned to its first instrument.
We all agree tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is self-destruction. Yeah, for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Yeah, for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Yeah, for self-destruction. Self-destruction.
Well, today's topic, self-destruction. It really ain't the rap audience that's bugging. It's one or two suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. You get caught in the mid. So to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you can unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives. Pop, 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 one is shot.
And those are the references. Also, recently, which is from the 90s, I ended up realizing Rhyme and Reason is a video that he's featured in. And also this semester, I ended up being in tune with a few more hip-hop books. Born to Use the Mic, which talks about Nas, and then Black Noise, which actually talks about hip-hop culture. Both of these books, or all of these books presented to you, actually mention KRS-One. Of course, how I dress today is his shirt with his feature. I wore Adidas because as hip-hop, Ron DMC used to always talk about hip-hop. I wore my Afro Puffs because Lady Rage from the West Coast used to rock Afro Puffs. And then I didn't have bamboo earrings that LL Cool J used to talk about, but I have hoops. Any questions?
Yeah. How much time we have, Brandon?
I started it late on accident, but there's a minute left.
Okay. Tell us how you came to choose him.
How did I come to choose him? Oh, matter of fact, recently, or probably about December, G-Man Entertainment actually had him come through to do a show at the Norva. And since they had backstage access, I was actually close to him. And just hearing him over and over and over, his vocabulary, which he stresses so much, is profound. Especially since he did not graduate high school, so we're all here receiving higher degrees and so forth. But it's just to know how he's gained his knowledge through just the environment, the streets, because he was homeless at one time. Just to see how he's come from where he is, or where he was, to where he is now. So that's amazing. And then he's actually giving lectures at universities and colleges. So, and I'm aware about him, of course, because of the 90s, like hip-hop culture. So
He's a very sought-after speaker.
Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you so much.